If you raise $5,000 or if you raise millions of dollars, no matter the time, the duration, when you do it, who you are, or where you live, you are all part of the same team, because the competition is not between us. The competition is between the people that are suffering and how much money we can raise.
I figure I might as well use their background music from the live stream, right? Hello. Let me hit this button real quick. Boop. I'm back, and that's an error. I need to fix that. What is that? What are you doing up there? Hold on. I think it's fixed now. Cool. Anyway, hey. How's it going? I'm back. I was gone for a while. I had to go do some stuff. I had to go play test a game. And I had to go out to New Jersey and do some family stuff, and we buried my my grandmother's urn. You know, I got to see all 87 of my cousins and aunts and uncles and all that. It was good. It was a good time. That's the personal stuff. It's okay. Because the stuff that I did at the beginning, y'all saw a little reveal today around it, right? I can finally talk about this stuff, dude. Oh my god. I've been holding back for so long. I'm glad we get an opportunity to finally watch it. So here's the plan, okay? There's a ton of stuff. The stuff that happened while I was gone. Let's see. I'm gonna mute this for a second. Let's see. Ubisoft said you don't own your games. Then they doubled down on it. Nintendo said that if you can't afford a Switch 2, they have a different thing you can afford. It's called the Switch. Which felt very reminiscent of the Xbox One and the Xbox 360 from Microsoft. Weird. That's not new from Ubisoft. What did they do to bring that back up? Oh, they shut down an old game, and then people were like, but I was still playing that. And they're like, oh, you don't own it, so don't worry about it. It was really good. Yeah. Yeah, they said, no, you don't need an offline mode because you don't own that game. We own the game, and we're just lending it to you. It was pretty sick. Yeah. The end. But I think the biggest, most important thing happened today, and that was finally, after a very, very long time, a game that has been in the works for... Oh, I know Dell is probably watching and is going to yell at me, and Harvey too. I'm sorry if I don't think this is breaking any NDA stuff. Seriously in the works for probably 3 or 4 years that I saw 6 years ago, or was talked about 6 or 7 years ago, the beginnings of a conversation around a little game called Marathon. It's an IP that I played back when I was a kid. Marathon 1, 2, and Randall. Marathon 1, 2, and Infinity, sorry. On my dad's Mac. Coincidentally, if you saw John Marathon in any of those reveal footage, that was me. I haven't watched any of it yet. I don't know what's in this. I was actually taking off to go up into the air when it went live. Internet didn't work. And then on the way back down, it was done. You were heavily featured? Really? Okay. Well, I mean, I'm there. They all the footage is all there. So there you go. Now I want to put a disclaimer on this. That's funny that I'm in it a lot. That's really funny. After we watch through, and I'm going to skip through a little bit of the reveal to get to the juiciest parts, I think. I heard that there was a lot of talking with there was periods of limited gameplay, and I'm gonna try and cut through that because the most important talking we're gonna have is I'm gonna be joined after we watch through this by the creative director for Marathon, which is really sick, and we're gonna have a conversation about the game. And I'm not going to be gentle with questions. I think it is imperative that one of the things there is a narrative around content creators working with game devs that ultimately concludes in people that don't understand the conversations and the connection between me and Bungie, or just a creator in general, and these developers is not necessarily what you think it is. There are some people, admittedly, that are probably very light or very gentle. I'm not one of those people, and I think they know that. I think the conversation that we'll have will be one where I say, why is this not in the game? I'll give you an example. VoIP. I had multiple long conversations with people there about why is there not VoIP? Why are you not doing proximity chat? So that's going to be one of the questions. I'm hoping that Dell will answer that, and along with a lot of others. I want to talk about anti-cheat. I want to talk about longevity for the game. I want to talk about all sorts of stuff, and I want to make sure that you understand that the conversation that I want to have with them is one that is real and authentic, and not. There's no script. There's no here. I'll do this. Look. So here's what I see right now. There's no script for this. This is the reveal stream. I can't show it to you right now, but Discord and Slack and OBS, all this stuff, I can't even see this monitor. There's no script for this because I want to be clear that this is not some pre-written conversation we're having. This is a thing that I want to expose any of the good and bad that's going to come along with this, because people have tons of questions. And I think it's important that those questions get answered in whatever way that they feel is appropriate. Are we all on board with that? Okay? Yeah, that's why they didn't go with permadeath in Raid. Oh, I can answer that one out of the gate. It's not Tarkov. It is a more casual approach to the extraction shooter. Accessibility. You don't want people to just die and sit and watch. So there you go. That's an easy one. So, everybody ready? Here's the other thing that I need to do. I need to... anybody that watches this back through, if you use this for clips, for TikTok, for your YouTube content, whatever, just credit me. That's all you got to do. I don't care. You can use whatever you want. Obviously, don't make me look like an ass. But just all I ask is that you credit me. Is that cool? So here's what we're going to do. Did the art change from the original showings? No. The theme, the art style has pretty much always been the way that it is, from my experience. So we're going to do that. We're going to take this guy. We're going to throw that up there. I'm going to put this in the bottom left corner. We're going to go up here. We're going to do this guy. We're going to take this guy. We're going to put this in the bottom left corner. Actually, we'll do top left because I think then it won't block stuff as much. Boom. They're about the same on both sides. Perfect. Cool. That's all I ask. If you're going to clip it and put it somewhere, just credit me. Okay. Let us get into it. I will say the beginning of this was pretty funny in that they had a chat-controlled robot driving around the studio. I was seeing things go through here that was like, hey, I've been all these places. That was just humorous to me. The bot was really funny. And they did that for 2 hours as like a way to warm people up. You had people watching from above. That was very silly. Dylan was up on cam at multiple points too. And I think they got they got some people out here. This is like in their main studio space. It's funny seeing all of these people. I've seen a lot of these people in person. So did you see the dead Cosmo? I did see the dead Cosmo, yes. But as much as I love you, Kevin, that's not why we're here, bud. Let's get it. Hi, John Marathon. Hey, I'm going to cut off closed captions, too. Hi, Amy. Sinister, yes, I did. It was nice.
Welcome back to Bungie HQ here in beautiful Washington, where we're coming to you live with the opportunity to share a little bit of marathon gameplay with you for the very first time. My name's Andy. I work on the social media team here, and we've got an awesome show lined up for you with a little surprise at the end that you're going to want to stick around to. So make sure to go ahead and not tune out early. But no need to worry. You're not going to have to sit here and listen to me. I'm joined by some of my teammates here at Bungie to walk us through some of what we're going to be seeing today. So no time like the present. Let's get into the show. First things first, this gentleman here to my right, to your left, is Marathon's game director, Mr. Joe Ziegler. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Super excited to finally show something about our game, you know? We've been a little bit silent for a while, but we're hoping you'll have a lot of fun today.
Yeah, we'll have another video in addition to the one of just you in your office hanging out.
Exactly, so, I won't be talking for like 20 minutes straight this time, I promise,
So for anyone out there that may not know you or what you do here, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
I work with a lot of amazing people, some of the people on this stage, a lot of people who are sort of in the audience here today.
I can summarize some of this stuff because it's an hour long. Joe made Valorant.
Joe,
I love you, Ziegler. Sorry.
Obviously, you've got some fans here, but for anyone out there in the audience at home that may not know you or doesn't get a chance to work with you, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do here?
Yeah, so I'm Joe Cross. I'm franchise art.
Joe Cross, guy that posts art on Twitter.
You know, my job is to
just a little bit about.
Sorry, boys.
Yeah.
Again, all due respect.
Gameplay director. What basically
he made Gun Go Boom.
I had to work with a bunch
Andrew.
of awesome
Bungie since Halo 3, the one, the only Mr.
Lars make gun go boom. This guy right here on the end, Lars make gun go boom accurately.
The senior design lead here, rather, the one, the only Mr. Lars Bakken.
Lars been around a long time, old man of Bungie.
Well, we'll get into that here very shortly, but no, thank you all for starters all for being here. Before we get started as well, a quick reminder, do yourself a favor, make sure you've got your Bungie and your Twitch account linked to make sure you don't miss out.
I don't think that works anymore.
Right now. And if you also go ahead and subscribe to any channel in the marathon.
But sub to me anyway.
A little cat that
is to what we've been talking about here, so let's take a look.
I've seen this trailer multiple times now. Daddy likey shotgun, by the way.
The end of all things. But the dream is not over. My dream. Yours. Now. Run.
Also Ben Starr, yeah. Um, 99% of what is in that, by the way, is in engine as you're playing content. I think the only things in there that you will not see are like some of the camera angles from the guns and that kind of thing. Otherwise, and I know that you're watching a 1080p video that's on a 1080p stream that's through, the quality degradation goes ham right now. So I apologize for that. But yeah, I saw some people talking about whether or not that's in there. I wonder if they'll add textures eventually. We'll talk about all that in a second. Is it console ported? That doesn't mean what you think it means. That's not really a thing anymore. I mean, the Xbox runs Windows. So it's not that doesn't really apply now.
First things first, you saw that correctly. Marathon will be releasing just later this year on September 23rd. So you'll be able to ship out to Tau City very shortly. And in addition to that, coming just later this month on April 23rd, we're going to be running a closed alpha test that you can be a part of. Now, as a quick heads up, this is going to be focused on North America, 18 plus only. So there's going to be a big chance to play up front, but don't worry, there's going to be other opportunities to play later. So to make sure you're caught up with all the details and you're ready to go, do yourself a favor, head over to our Discord at discord.gg/marathonthegame. And of course, if you're here in Twitch chat with us today, then you've already done yourself a big favor. Members of our community and moderation teams are going to be going out and looking for folks to drop codes to as well to make sure that you can get priority access when the alpha kicks off. So go ahead and keep an eye out on your inbox. There's no exclamation point drops or anything you need to do, though I'm sure folks will do it anyway. But worry not, you've gone ahead and done yourself a favor by being here today. But let's get into it. What did we just see?
A lot of death, is first what we all saw. But honestly, you saw a first glimpse of some of what's going on in Marathon, our extraction shooter that we're creating over here. And it's got a little bit of everything. It's got some runners in there. It's got some weapons in there. It's got some crazy stuff happening, but yeah.
Yeah, a little taste of the weapons in there. You saw some alternate weapon actions. The flip scope is in there, so weapons are going to do more than just shoot, obviously. It's a Bungie game. We got to really push things. Yeah, a lot of runner abilities are in there as well.
By the way, while we're going, I'm going to start writing down questions to hit Del with, just fast ones, easy ones, just so you know.
Too, like there's that sequence where the shutters go down and then everything goes wrong for the team that's in that room. But it's pretty cool to see those things.
Yeah, everything goes wrong, the Andy Salisbury story. Mr. Ziegler, so why are we making Marathon? Why is Bungie going?
It is possible to use controller on PC for this game. Yes.
I mean, extraction shooters are something that are a passion of all of ours. Like, we really like the idea of bringing this experience that we've all enjoyed, which is this kind of intense survival-based experience where you are frequently unsure of what's going to happen next, but you're on that adventurous ride of it. It's like, we talk about it sort of like it's a horror story that's kind of unfolding before you. And
Ludo, can I ask about the 8-bit style icons that are mostly illegible? Which icons do you specifically mean? Keep in mind that this is not running at this is down-tiered resolution and quality from what you're going to get when it's on screen. A demo D2? No. That's a weird question. That would have been announced. What do you mean by illegible icons? I've seen icons UI that are 8-bit style. There's some of it is. Yeah, and okay. Before I keep going, I will say one of the biggest things, one of the biggest hits for a lot of this, maybe even one of the biggest contention points for a lot of people, is the style choice visually of this game versus every mil-sim, gritty, sand-covered shooter that is out today. It is different. It is different. There are going to be people that don't like it. 100%. There's going to be people that do like it. 100%. I like that it's different. It's not perfect, but I'm glad it's different.
Testing yourself to see if you can survive it. And we really wanted to take that and sort of, I don't know, bring a lot more people into it. When you love something, you really kind of want to just, attract others to it. And so you can have a bigger party with it. And so, yeah, we've been doing a lot of work to make that happen.
Yeah, no, it shows. And, Lars, obviously, Bungie's got a long history of shooters, but this is a new type altogether for us to dive into. From your side, what's it been like designing for all of this?
It's been fantastic. So when I started at Bungie, it was on the multiplayer team. And I am a competitive person in my nature. I really enjoy PvP. And so having to take that in the marathon game and think about every single angle of every design, knowing that there will be other human beings around, and on the other side of it has just been fascinating and really exhilarating for myself personally, and I also know for the team.
Yeah, it's been really exciting to see.
There's so many questions I know answers to, but I want to watch this at the
Mr.
same
Witz,
time.
can you do me a favor and help introduce these 4 runners that are going to be available when the closed alpha test begins?
Yeah, for sure. We'll have 6 runners at launch, but we're focusing on the core 4 here they're going to be in the alpha. So going left to right, we have Locust. Locust is our soldier kind of fantasy, our soldier kit, all about push forward gameplay, right? The first one in, trying to get as many picks as possible, right? Against either the UESC or other players. Next, we have Blackbird. It's a very reconnaissance-based kit, all about like figuring out where players and enemies are in general and punishing poor positioning. Glitch is like our agile disruptor kind of kit, all about pushing forward, disrupting enemy teams and what they're doing and getting out and kind of having that kind of cycle. Void is our stealth boy, our sneaky boy, all about throwing down smokes, going a full active camo cloak into the darkness, getting some reses, and then taking some people by surprise. So yeah, this is our core 4 right now for alpha.
I will say in my time playing, all 4 felt
and even furthermore,
like
Joe Cross, also, if anyone's not following Joe Cross on Twitter, do yourself a favor.
They all 4 had their moments to shine. None of them felt like they were OP. Definitely had issues going up against certain characters. I also think that since they're talking about it, per runner, there's only 4 abilities. The one you played, the video seemed crazy. Chap, who I was running against, and who I was with 2 other people that had played. Luke and Cameron had played already as well. There's a creator that talked about the second map. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we had a good squad on purpose. As far as I know. Anyway, I was saying I feel like the runners are less. They are a gameplay choice. They influence the way that they're not like they don't. What am I trying to say here? The hero aspect is not as strong as I was afraid it was going to be. I still don't know if I fully like it. Because going into this, before Ziegler took over and the previous director was removed, there were no hero or runner classes. Some of them are pretty... Some of the abilities are pretty dramatic or different, but I feel like they're all equally effective. They're not like, oh, you have to have this character, this runner in the group, otherwise you're screwed. It's not like that. I think you can make, from what I observed, you can make any build work. They shouldn't have added heroes. Everyone should have their own customizable runner. Heroes are dumb. I wouldn't say heroes of the runner concept is dumb, but I think I would have preferred to not have a hero setup and have them as modular abilities you can slot or socket. The other side of that, though, is I think the choice to go to runners circumvents a meta loadout, so to say, because you're forced into choosing ups and downs, things you do want or maybe don't want, and working with it. I think that's a balanced choice. Does that make sense? That's the way that I perceived it. So have you seen the cinematic? I saw it before you did.
Marathon is a team-based extraction shooter set around the mysterious and cutthroat world of Tau Ceti 4. You are a runner, a cybernetic mercenary who's given up their human form for a biosynthetic shell with
That
unique
effect is
abilities
really
and
sick,
stats,
by the way.
capable of both tactical and
Like
fast-paced
visually,
combat.
it looks really good.
Here you'll fight in a crew of up to 3 players across a variety of zones and points of interest. You'll face rival runners in zones of up to 18 players, countless security forces, and otherworldly threats. To scavenge the remains of a lost colony for glory and fortune. The environments of Tau Ceti 4 are filled with weapons, materials, and equipment you can scavenge throughout the map. Before deploying, you'll strategically build your loadout and select a runner to ensure you're equipped for the run ahead. Your objective is simple. Get in, gather as much loot as you can, and make it out alive. Die, and all your gear will be up for grabs.
For these intro videos like this,
can be taken into future runs as
they
you grow in
purposely
power
do it
and fill your vault.
slower and more methodical
Death is
to
inevitable,
show you everything.
but it's never the end.
It's to
Think
get the
quickly on your
details.
feet
Because
and
when we're
outplay your
playing, we're just
opponents.
whipping around,
And in
y'all.
your next run, you and your teammates will be the ones coming out on top. And even if you're down on your luck, factions can sponsor you with a fresh loadout, so you can get right back into the fight.
Scav runs.
Bungie brings its best-in-class first-person multiplayer action to the forefront. Dynamic and tactile gunplay, runners with unique playstyles, and customizable builds create highly dynamic and strategic team fights. Whether you're on a zero-to-hero run or high-rolling with powerful gear, you'll need to use your best judgment when you decide which fights to pick and how. Because no matter how geared you are, players
These are
with
funny.
skill and strategy will
These
always
fights are
have the
mostly
edge.
just people walking around.
Marathon is designed to be played in crews with contextual pings, shared objectives, and
Those are
down
very
but
cool.
not out
I like
to
those.
streamline playing with your friends. Death is not the end. And if you're the last one standing, you can overcome the odds to revive your teammates and get out with your hard-earned loot.
Yeah, it's like EFT trailers.
And if you believe
Bro,
your
nobody plays
skills
like that.
alone are enough to conquer any challenge,
But for the show,
we
I
give you
understand.
the freedom to opt out of crew fill to take all the glory for yourself.
You can
as a
solo queue.
solo runner.
You can solo
No two
queue.
runs in Marathon
You
ever
can-
play out the same. With that,
You can queue as a solo, but there's no solo queue. Does that make sense? Just to clarify, because I saw people asking about that. You can queue solo. There is no solo queue. You can queue as duos. There's no duo queue. Why solo? Because someone could just pulse and see you. Why run solo in Tarkov when you just get impacted, bro?
dynamic events, variable weather, and unpredictable players, you'll have to adapt on the fly if you want to survive.
I don't think soloing will be the way. I think soloing will be very, very difficult. Just to be very clear, I don't feel like the game is built for that. You can choose to do it. And I think you could pull it off if you're very good. Chap and chat, that dude, he will do it. And he will be successful. Just so we're on the same page.
Each run has a time limit, and anything can happen while you're chasing your objective. Looking to
So we said, what makes this game different than the cycle? The cycle suffered big time from weapon and armor rarity, determining fights. This game does not do that.
unlock upgrades or increase your faction reputation. Slip into the shadows as Foy and ghost past your enemies. Search the map for rare materials and profit opportunities without being discovered. Want to push enemy teams and steal their loot? Bring in Glitch with agility implants and your strongest weapons to disrupt rival crews. Running support for your friends. Grab extra equipment, shield charges, and a specialized backpack.
Yeah, Locust
to
is
be
the
lifeline
support, bro.
they need.
Sure, whatever you say.
You're always
whatever-
free to experiment
whatever
with
you
team
say, bud.
compositions.
Support.
And the only limit to how you want to play your runner is your loot and
20 minutes
imagination.
long enough? It's 25.
Endgame challenges, ranked
And
play,
no, I don't think so.
discovering secrets, seasonal storytelling.
But for the way the
community
game is
events,
right now,
and more, all await
I would
you
like
in
to see it
season
longer, but I
1,
think 25
where
is
you
probably
and
the
your
right-
friends will start to
It's
unravel
probably
the
correct.
mysteries
I'm probably
of
just
Tau Ceti 4.
want more time.
Remember, you're only ever one run away from your next big score.
I will say we never got to the end of raid mechanic. Now that I think about it, okay, in all the time playtesting in both day 1 and day 2, we never got to the timer runs out end of the raid mechanic. We never had that. There are multiple exfil points and stuff as you play through, and there is the timer hits 0. Just like in DMZ, you have like a limited amount of time to get to the final exfil, but it's hell. We never even got to that. And it was described to us. I don't know if they're going to keep it the way that it was described to us, and I don't know if that's on or off the record, to be quite honest. So I will make a note of that to bring up with Dell when it's time to talk to him. Final exfil. There will be a final 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Somebody in chat said it. So yeah, when you hit the 0 counter in the top right, you get an additional like 2 minutes, and all the UESC defense drones know where you are, and they start chasing you. It's wild. Sony, okay. I'll make the note here for the question because somebody brought up anti-cheat, but I'm going to be straight up with you. It's running Tiger Engine. It's the same anti-cheat. I'm assuming. I don't know. To be clear, I am assuming it's the same anti-cheat as Destiny 2. I'm hoping it's bumped up or upgraded, improved by the time that this comes out. But it's going to be in line with that. You shouldn't expect anything else.
All right. It's a decent amount of gameplay. All right. Let's get into breaking this down.
Again, I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that.
For starters, again, as we touched on before the
quote
break,
Dell in a minute when I ask him.
History with Marathon, Joe Cross, from your standpoint, facilitating this gameplay with your art style. Again, what was it like, kind of approaching this from your perspective? What were you looking to do?
Build on a legacy. The narrative of Marathon is incredibly rich and like inspirational, easy sort of inspiration for art. I also love just sort of having the keys to this car from this era, working on a game from this era. I love older games. I love the way the games look from the PS1, PS2 era. So there was a lot for us.
There's no friendly fire.
And like I said, paying homage to some of the great sort of iconic artists of the time. So
yeah. And also we had some keen-eared folks in chat. I think it's Joey Wolfinder asked if this is Ben Starr. Yep, Ben Starr was the narrator of that piece. Excellent ear.
Great voice, right?
Yeah.
Very good voice.
Yeah.
Very good voice.
He's almost an Andrew Witz, but he does his best. But all right, I'm gonna put you on the spot with a tough one, Mr. Joe Ziegler. Yeah. Who's your favorite runner?
Ooh, controversial question. I play a variety of them, but I will say.
All right, boys. I love you very much.
Playing the most
I appreciate you. I'm skipping forward.
Blackbird, yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably some pieces in here that are important, but I want to get to gameplay bits and other stuff.
Blackbird because it's a great.
Because I want to get Dell in here because I don't want to waste his time.
In terms of being.
Here we go.
In their own words.
Oh.
It's the very same alpha build that some of you will have a chance to join in on as well.
Okay, there you go.
I vote I go ahead and let you tell them about it in their own words.
What do you think about no VoIP? Massive misstep. Huge issue. Don't like it. Very frustrating. We ask about it every day. I will ask Dell about it again. I know the reason why. I know why, and it was explained to me why. I don't like the reason why, and I don't know if I can share with you yet, but I don't like it. I don't like that there's no VoIP. VoIP proxy chat. I love VoIP even if I rarely use it, but it has to be. It's such a pivotal piece of the dynamic of the game. It said it was due to toxicity. No, disagree. I give me the option to report. Just hit the mass AOE report button. I know why, and I know why. It's going to be a rehash conversation. Dell's going to go, when I ask him, I'm going to ask him anyway for you. I'm just telling you right out, I want it to.
You kind of
I know
feel
that guy.
the blood pumping.
Got him. Down the ball again and 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 again.
This is a new world. This is a different take on an extraction shooter.
Hi, Lauren.
No, let me cut out.
That's Lucas. He's one of my, that's one of my trio.
It is literally
That's Cameron. That's the other one of my trio.
This is such an exciting time for us. You are the first group outside of Bungie to playtest our alpha build.
Look daddy up. Let's go.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I am ready and up. Whatever you two are. Yes, sir. Oh, we are bringing some money at this time.
Quick read.
Oh,
you
yeah.
looking around?
Dude, we were looking around
Yeah,
the room to see who was queuing at the same time.
Alrighty. Bio research is right next to us. You want to do the intercepts?
Yeah.
You just want to grab that real quick?
Yeah, we can do that.
You want to get going?
Yep, Metro.
So
That should be a good one.
when the time comes, when I'm talking to Dell, I'll probably just play my YouTube video like muted in the background, so you can see stuff, and I'll use it as a reference for a lot of this. That's funny that they're using me. How's raid load time? Not worth referencing because it was a capture with 40 people. So if there were other people in the queue, it was instant. If everyone else was still in the run and you were dead or you had gotten out already, it took forever. You had to wait for other people. So that's not worth discussing. I hope you understand why.
Yeah, more AI inside the little shrubbery compound over there.
A hostile unit is calling for reinforcements.
So, okay, I guess I could do this. Here, let me put me in the bottom right corner. I'll give you just a quick little overview of everything that's on the screen, right? Top left, this is raid time. Starts at 25 minutes and ticks down. You have a compass with the direction you're looking. You have your weapon setup. Should look very familiar, a la Destiny, but adjusted. My DMR, double barrel shotgun, and your melee. You do run faster with a knife out. Just so you know. Your grenades or whatever your utility piece is here under G. Q is your ult. F is your ability right here. 4 is your heal. If you hold down 4, it brings up the radial. You use your mouse to tick around to choose which med thing you're going to use. The shield is Apex shields. It just is. And I know it doesn't look like it, but this is green. This is a level 2 shield. Level 1 is white. 3 is blue, 4 is purple, just so we're all the same. No, you do not run faster if you take your armor off. You have your kill feed is below the timer, and then the little things you're doing are XP for your character, and then this is rep for whichever one you currently, I believe, have a faction for, which that icon is Traxxas. Shield break icons, that stuff's all in there. A lot of the rest of it should just kind of make sense. This is your... In the middle right here, this is the stam bar or your heat. Once it fills up, you have to wait for it to go back down before you can do anything that requires heat generation or stamina. But if you stop it before it goes away or before it caps, it'll just start regenerating automatically, which is kind of nice. Kill feed is for just the team. You do not see the kill feed for others on the map. So only if it involves your stuff. So it's not giving away who is on the server. And if it did say that, in fact, it may have at one point, and I was like, no, you can't show that because you're giving away information. I don't remember exactly, but we did. That definitely is a big deal. It shows your current task up here. Exfil patch kits. Cam's got to find a thing. There are different tiers of hit markers. When a skull pops up, that means the thing is dead. You do have the 2 dashes for headshot, 1 dash for non-headshot, if I recall correctly. There's your little skull pop up for a kill. This is actually a pretty damn good fight. Hold on, let's back up.
I need some bits ammo. Guys, follow me. There's a green punk right there.
There's ticks underneath.
Little tick guys, very flood-like.
Oh yeah, here I think.
Player. Down one.
I hit one for the kill, but I'm
Crispy snipe, dude. The long shot.
down. That's all of them.
We're running through it.
Actually, you want to do the 18D? Over here. Red looks like they're
DMR was very good.
Either way, I'm getting shredded right now. So I
Then
get
clear the AI outside first. Then it's going to beam it.
One thing to note for threat assessment is when you scope in on a player or an AI, you'll see the color of the shield that they have. That should be an indicator of threat assessment. Make sense? There is a downed icon as well. It does look like the download icon. Yes, if you knock a player.
What do you have?
Looting is very Tarkov-esque. It's randomly pops things up, though, instead of top left to bottom right, which is kind of nice, I think.
That's what we need, right?
The server lobbies are Tarkov. They are not the cycle. High-value target.
I'm inside with them.
You gotta pop a buff before you go inside, otherwise the red bubble cooks you. You kill the guys inside, it'll spawn the box, and you loot the box. But
I'm unlocking the box. Yeah, dropping in big ones too.
there is sniper glare.
They've got long shots in two.
I swore right there. Long shots and shit.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Broken shield.
There's a loot.
With a follow-up.
Absolute. Oh my god, I almost realized.
There are.
Where are they?
They're on the balcony.
There are boss-like mobs.
I got one knocked.
There are not bosses, as far as I know, like Reshala, etc. I would like that to be added. The shield into the double barrel, baby.
That's
Annihilated, dude. Oh my
there's no prone.
Yeah, I would say it's a self-res.
yeah, there's a sniper. Freaking no!
Okay.
It's a Brian.
So for reference, Brian is a dev. Just so we're clear.
I'm coming to you.
Also,
Yeah,
that's the team right behind me. It's not my friend Brian, it's different Brian. That includes Jeff Keighley. All right, continue.
Don't underestimate this guy.
Oh my god, that's it.
I got 1 hit point left, dude.
You killed 2, I think it's 1v1. Ben, you knocked 1, I knocked another.
Good stuff. I literally only have a sniper.
AI that were third party and we're getting really annoying, so just had to pick them off.
Okay,
I did a thing. Don't judge me on this.
The knock I had was way over here. I don't see anybody over there yet.
He's been quiet for an awful long time. I reckon he's gone to res.
Clearly sniper glint, chat, right?
Back him.
He's right there. He's right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me if they red.
Shouldn't repeat that.
There's a guy. Yeah, he's holding the angle at a distance.
Sniped a sniper.
That's my bad.
Right on me. This player. I mean, very weak up there.
So that other team rotated away. This is a third party.
I'm underneath.
Are they where we got boys at now?
Pretty much everything is hit scan except for, I think, one gun. I think there's one. Double barrel showing up again.
Got one left.
I take shots on the right side, like you for them.
No, if they're close. I got no tags.
The stealth in this game.
Yeah, A1.
Is that him up there?
We'll talk about that.
Is he upstairs inside?
We'll talk about that.
Yes, sorry, he was.
Yeah, I hear him.
Ping system is good and versatile with different kinds of pings.
There's a USEC guy right there.
Yeah, UESC dude. It's an AI inside here. How did kill times feel? These are way better than they were. I had asked between the last playtest and this one, you have to increase lethality of both players and the AI. You have to. Otherwise, you're sitting in a situation where it's all just bullet sponge, and the lethality of it was not there, in my opinion. So I said I would like to see it turned up. I would like a game. I'm looking at Tarkov, where I'm rolling through a building. There's a scav. We've been in time periods where I hear a scav come and I go, I don't give a shit, and I just run past. We've also been in Tarkov times where I'm 100 meters away and I get one tap by buckshot. Right? We don't like either of those. We like a happy middle ground. If it's just me versus the AI, they're pushovers. That's how they should be. That's fine. It's more about the AI is more there, in my opinion, to signal to other players, right, that you exist. But if you are in a matchup against another team and there happens to be AI, you also want them to be a threat too. Is my opinion. All right, we're gonna finish up this little part, and then I'm gonna grab Dell because he's on a timer.
I think they kind of built a ringer group, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty confident.
They built God squads, you could say. I feel like we might be the God squad.
We talked a little bit of trash, yeah.
That was good. That was a good run.
Yeah.
Landmark's big concern was the soloable. You can queue solo.
You got knife some AI and grab some gunners.
I think it's going to take the right kind of play style. It's probably doable.
You got a loot container.
It'll probably be very difficult.
Yeah, it's right here. Where did I just hear that thought?
Oh yeah. If you guys didn't see, Lauren's character's name was My Last Kit. Stay Poor is Stank Rat, and Jesse was Head Eyes, which was hilarious to me.
Whoa! I knifed one.
Little AI guys.
Oh my god.
Oh, this might be... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting sucked on by a robot.
It's a purple shield.
They will literally, they'll thirst you on the ground. The AI will absolutely thirst you on the ground.
I found a purple enemy. I heavy knifed it 4 times and had to dump a full mag into it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't have those issues, Jesse, with the purple AI. I don't know, man. That might be a you problem.
Okay.
If you just shoot the guys in the head, they die.
I don't want the conquest.
Yeah, the robots can suck you off, Dad. Yeah.
I should think it, but I don't want it.
But here, take this.
Long
Take
shot.
this.
I'm saved. What's the question marks again? That are on the map?
Oh, I think those are the players, right?
Huh?
Okay, yeah, I know what this is.
Like the cash players?
Yeah, I don't know.
Players.
One is broken.
Pops out, stanked it. Actually effective. Oh, but then their void pops out. I didn't know that.
I knocked one.
Shots from above are good. Gets a knock. Gets another knock. Lauren's just down here putting people down, dude.
Prepare for increased hostile action.
Glitch is moving. Glitch is moving.
Thing to note.
Glitch is behind you at the moment.
That I just noticed that should probably be pointed out. Do you see the little people icons above the bags? When you get somebody knocked, they'll crawl around. When you thirst them, the bag shows up with a little person icon above it. The person icon stays there until they back out. Why is everything so foggy? Because there is fog and weather in the game. Why is it foggy? It is because fog rolled in. There are dynamic weather effects that happen. It will just start raining, and sometimes, dude, some of the storm effects are really, really good.
Found him.
But you see little people icons? The guy's still there watching.
Increased hostile action.
Glitch is moving. Glitch is moving.
Behind, yeah, Glitch is behind you at the moment. White shield, white shield.
Oh, she's scared. She's scared.
Down, down.
Very good.
Very, very nice. I called it purple.
That idea of fog on the shown playtest event, I fully disagree. I think that anybody that sees that and goes, wow, it looks really foggy, without realizing that it's a fog weather effect that's in play, that is part of the atmosphere of the... How can you get mad about a weather effect? That just... If people are mad about that, it's because I think they're just looking for something to be mad about. Is the mood of the other maps very different from each other? I will say there is, from my experience, there is variation, yes.
Yeah,
they are not all like this,
frickin'
for sure.
Purple. There's a green on this
Purple shield. Who has that?
one. Me.
The big items, the big drops, the stuff that's like really high value, they're like, I have to get this out.
Doesn't matter if I'm playing Lucas or Void or Glitch. If I've got a better aim, I'm going to win.
Wait, what the heck?
Other extraction shooter like that where I can have that kind of gameplay.
When people find out about some of the secrets and stuff, they are going to lose their mind.
1, 2, 3.
You see me in the front?
So far has just been
Let's go, baby!
refreshing, I'd like to say. Everything felt really locked in.
This being sort of the next full Bungie experience is an exciting moment.
The game is inherently fun. I just want to play more.
Okay. Price, I don't think they've announced that yet. Let me see what is the next thing that is up. Okay, we're gonna pause here for a second, and I'm gonna go full screen. I'm gonna let my stuff run in the background. We are gonna finish watching that, but before we do that, I don't want to take up too much of his time because I know he is on a schedule here. So I'm going to grab my own gameplay video and run that in the background while we have a little conversation. This has 44,000 views. Holy crap. We actually went and did it, chat. Look at us now, dude. Okay. So I'm going to stick myself up top right to cover my own face. I'm just going to let my own game... I am not in the right spot. I'm going to let my own gameplay speak for itself. Me getting trashed or Steve doing hopefully a good job handling me. And I'm going to grab Dell on the phone here real quick, okay? Hello. Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can indeed. All right, I just turned you up to make sure that I had enough volume. Sorry I didn't give you like a message heads up. I'm assuming, are you watching the stream at the same time?
Yeah.
Cool. So all the shit talk I just did, you heard all of that, right?
Yeah, so it's good. Bring it.
Okay. First, we're gonna do a little house cleaning for myself, if that is okay.
Yeah.
If you could please introduce yourself so those that are watching know exactly who I'm talking to.
Hey, my name's Del Chafe. I'm actually the assistant game director on the game. I didn't catch the thing earlier. And so, yeah, my job is to, I help the whole team get together and, solve problems, try and make the game better.
How long have you been working on Marathon?
Ooh, 2 years, over 2 years.
The game
Not since it started.
I was going to say, the game itself, as far as its true development time, and I'm talking outside of the window when it was still one of the, numbered projects. Do you know how long, what portion of the full development time have you been involved in?
I would say at this point, maybe just about half.
Okay, cool. It is a good reference point, so chat knows the level of involvement. I have to say the most recent 2 years has probably been the most intense, obviously, because you guys are pushing closer and closer to the true release date, which we actually have now, September 23rd, 2025. I think a lot of people were anticipating 2026, so I think that caught a bunch of people on social media off guard, and they're like, wait, what? It's coming out this year? That's crazy, which I am excited for. So that's freaking cool. Now, I showed chat earlier for verification. There is no script for this conversation, right?
Nope. No. Ask away.
I was just saying.
I saw your stuff earlier. Like, ask the hard questions. Like, we're here to have those questions and talk through them.
One of the things that I have seen a lot recently, especially because I made the mistake of talking about it and being excited on stream. And so you have a very narrow but loud group of people that are saying, oh, they're catering to streamers. So I am going to ask you a very specific question. When you guys do play tests, am I correct in understanding that you also bring locals in from Seattle to do play tests that are not content creators, that are just regular ass people?
Oh, yeah. We have a whole bunch of playtesters. It's actually not just in Seattle. We work with some other groups that will bring them in from different parts of the country. And so, yeah, we have a whole user research team that organizes that stuff.
Perfect. There you go. I appreciate that. Okay, we'll start with a couple of things. I answered a couple of these already, but hearing it from someone that is actually employed by Bungie is always good. You can queue as a solo.
Yes.
There is no solo queue.
That is also correct. We're focused on the crew play first. We'll do investigations and still talk about the solo mode because we hear that feedback pretty consistently about players wanting that. Hey, I don't want to lose my stuff because of my teammate or something like that. Like, I just want to go in and live and die by myself. But the hard thing, we could have started with that, but we chose to start with the crew play because it forces us to design systems and try and help you value your other crewmates. And so you see it on some of your video that you're showing, like, you share experience points. When you get really rare materials are valuables that you find in the world, you also share those. So if somebody picks up a purple thing in the world, all of you in the crew gets it when you get out. And then you see the DBNO, like the revive mechanics and stuff. So it really puts us in that space of thinking about, hey, how do we make this a crew-based game? And we have other aspirations for, what your crew can aspire to.
I will say another thing that I haven't talked about yet, but for chat, at the end screen at the end of a raid too, it also will automatically vendor. I'm going to call them barter items because a lot of my viewer base plays Tarkov or watches me play Tarkov. So there's like at my inventory screen, I'll actually even pause and pull it back up here because I think it's important to look at so that they know exactly what I'm talking about. Going over here. I apologize. I thought I may have skipped back just a little bit too far. We're looking at each other. Where's my menu again? Yeah, go back a little bit further. Chat, where was it? There we go. Got it. Gotta go over and I loot this guy. Okay, so chat, right here at the bottom, these 225s, the way that the loot is filtered on here, it'll put guns and larger objects automatically at the top. You don't move any of this stuff around. It does the sorting for you, and then you get your like equipments and cores and implants, your ammunition, your barter items that are used for upgrades and completing tasks, your consumables, and then all these 225s down here at the bottom. When you get out of the run, it will automatically vendor those for you, and it will also automatically move any of these barter items to your stash without you having to do a thing. When you get out, the only stuff that'll be left in here is anything that goes on the left side in the equipment slots, ammo, and consumables. There's no Tetris, which... admittedly, for some people, like looking at Tarkov as one of the skill ceilings in Tarkov, one of the things that elevates it is inventory manipulation, and that's not a good thing. That's not a gameplay thing. I know that there's some Tarkov crack addicts in my chat that are like, no, it makes it better. It's better that way. You're a better player. No, that ultimately detracts from the gameplay. So I just want to point that out. Okay. Skill-based matchmaking. What's the system?
So there's not going to be a skill-based matchmaking based on a skill, but there is going to be matchmaking based on your runner level, which is kind of an aggregate of how much time you put into the game, how much experience points you put in. So we do want to have some protection from players that are very new versus people who put hours into the game. And part of that is in a game like this, because there's so many variables, it's really difficult to say, hey, what should we be measuring the skill to matchmake you on? And so we've ended up with, hey, let's just do your overall engagement and how much experience you have with the game, because that can really swing it.
How are you going to protect against the potential for smurfing with that? Because there will be people that will just make new accounts and go back in and blast players that are just starting off. Is there a system for that or no?
Not yet, because we're still. I mean, we're going to test a bunch of this stuff in alpha. That's one of the goals of alpha, is to test some of these matchmaking systems and see how they work in the real world. So, yeah, that is one of those areas we're still in active development on.
Okay. Cross-play and cross-save.
Yes and yes.
Yes and yeah, just blanket yes and yes, which I think hopefully answers. So Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam players can all play together. If I play on my PC, I can go to my PlayStation and jump on Marathon, and it's all there as well. Yeah? Cool. That also leads me into the next question. Talk to me about controller aim assist or magnetization combined with what I saw the setting, but would like you to confirm it. You can adjust or toggle on and off a level of aim assist with mouse.
Yeah, so I mean, you probably had conversations when you were there playing. This is also an active area of development that the team's going and doing tuning on. In fact, I bet the build today has different tuning values than even what you played. I don't know what the final settings are going to be, because I think that's also a thing that we're working on. But the team is actively exploring, hey, what's the skill that we want players to develop for controller? Because the controller does have some different inputs, like its ability to be analog in your movement, for example, is like better than WASD. But mouse and keyboard has the mouse, and so you can be better on your aiming. And so it's really about trying to find the right balance between those without giving them either of them a real advantage other than the input methods. Like, hey, I go mouse and keyboard because I want that accuracy.
From what I have heard from Halo Infinite players, they have, and chat, tell me if you think I'm wrong or if you've heard different, but typically it's been more overwhelmingly positive than negative in regards to aim assist with the mouse going against controller players that have it. And they could tell me if I'm wrong on that, I'll admit to being wrong. But what I've heard is that it is typically perceived as being a good thing, which is nice. Okay, gonna shift gears a little bit, and I am kind of gathering from chat as well as my own questions simultaneously. So if things kind of jump around a lot, I apologize. Okay, I'll get one out of the way that I know is going to get asked about a million times. And I asked about it about a million times when I was in the studio. VoIP, proximity chat,
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah, I heard you mention this before, so I got to do the no.
Yeah, I am admittedly very unhappy with that.
No, yeah, and we're still exploring it. I think the challenge we have is first of all, we totally understand the cool experiences it creates, and so we're definitely aware of that. The thing that we're trying to balance is how do we do it safely without impacting the core extraction gameplay for people who aren't necessarily wanting to do it. And there's some game developer stuff that we have to do when we're talking about the entire community that can play the game. That's the considerations that we have to do. So yeah, we totally know this is the thing people want. It's a big part of the experiences for a lot of people who are engaged with it. There's a lot of people also are like, want it off, do not want it. and we need to do the work to figure out a way to get it into the game. But we're still doing that work.
Is it related in some way to a localization? Is it like an EU or South America, North America specific thing, or is it a system as a whole? Because I think a lot of people, of course, people will look at like Battlestate Games with Tarkov, and the reason that they can do it is because, and to be quite frank, I think they just don't give a shit. They just send it and see what happens. But obviously, with you working under Sony's umbrella, I guess what I'm looking for is where can you be specific about where the problem lies that is preventing it, or no?
I can't be specific other than say there's not a single silver bullet that we got to solve.
Okay.
It's there's a whole bunch of different things we have to consider. And then, we have to find a way to do that in the way that, again, like works for the entire community.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to press you too hard about it because I know this is a conversation that's had internally a million times, and also there's limitations on what you obviously can and can't say. So I know some people in chat are not going to be happy with that. Sucks, but it is what it is, guys. Sorry. Okay. Talk to me about the final exfil mechanic. So the timer hits 0 in the top left. How many minutes do I have, and what happens?
I think right now in the build you got 3 minutes, although we've kind of already identified that is probably too long because we've played it internally, and what ends up happening is if there's no one else in the session, you're kind of just hanging around for a little bit. And so what happens is the timer counts down, you get a warning, final exfil. There's one exfil on the map that you got to go to. It's just one exfil for everybody who's left in the session. And then, the intention is to like really ramp up the AI threat. They're like, hey, you've overstayed your welcome, get out of here. And so we're still actively developing. So there's a lot of iteration that we're still planning to do.
Okay, it's getting hit up a lot. It was lower on my list. But, I just realized I was muted. This next one has been brought up a bunch in chat, and it was lower on my list, but I'm going to move it up higher so those people get answered. Talk to me about what ranked play in Marathon looks like.
So ranked play is our version of letting players measure their skill in the game against other players. So it's like you kind of rank up to it, and we're still working on what the game is rating for you, like what the game is describing as success for you. And so there's a team right now that's working on that problem space. We've done a play test, a couple months ago. That was really fun internally, but we also identified some issues. And so we're still actively developing it. But our intention is that is a thing where, you go into that mode and you're like, hey, this is the thing where, I am very focused on what I'm trying to get out of the session. And I'm optimizing for that. And then you get out and that turns into a score, and that's how you measure yourself with other players.
Is this going to be a system that's going to have like its own set of rewards? Are people going to be encouraged to go play ranked? Or is it more going to be like a side thing that if you want to do it for bragging rights, you can, but there's no big drive for it?
Let's talk about that more later.
Okay. I was waiting for one of those kind of answers, and I finally found the question that that gets it. Somebody asked in chat, can you lean?
No leaning.
Do you have any plans on adding even contextual lean? So I think Call of Duty does it where if you move up to a corner, you ADS, the game will, it obviously in like certain situations, it'll automatically do like a peek around a corner. Anything like that? Or are we just leaving it? Is there no lean plans whatsoever?
I don't think there's any plans right now. We have investigated that type of auto leaning system in the past. I think where we're going for right now is we're trying to lean into the movement and the speed. Like you see that in some of the gameplay, right? Like there's a lot of traversal and movement and repositioning. And so I think we're trying to
I'm grabbing all your
focus
questions,
more
Chad.
on that instead of, hey, how do I really bunker down in a space?
Okay. This one is a personal question of mine. Sorry, Chad, I'm jumping ahead of you in line. What's the design choice for only one contract at a time? We have the priority, which is obviously like the story mission ones for each faction, of which there will be 6 according to the screen. And you have the slots for the randomly generated ones that are picked up after you exfil with one of the contract items from a raid. But why can I only run one contract at a time?
So first, this is another area where we're actively iterating. In fact, there was just talks this week about another iteration on the contract system. The reason for the one contract is it helps you as a player focus and stay on task for what you want to accomplish in the run. Like we've investigated allowing you to have multiple contracts before, and what ended up happening that we found was you weren't very focused. You kind of ended up just being like, I'm going to push forward on the stick and do some stuff, and some of my contracts will get finished.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that people have seen from other extraction shooters is sometimes you go in a run, you're going to try and get like 5 or 6 done simultaneously because you've stacked up all these ones on the same map. I do think that is the thing that people enjoy, but also it does end up making it so you run through content potentially a little faster. So I am interested in seeing if that changes after the alpha. Speaking of contracts, knocking everything out of the park, when you get to the end, as specific or loosely as you want to describe it, what's the end game grind look like? Are you expecting players to like farm certain certain maps for certain things? I know that I'm trying to not give away anything that I know because I don't. Certain things might be and might not be. Yeah. So talk to me about endgame.
We're doing some work on that right now. Like it's hard to talk and we'll have to. This will be one of those topics we have to come back to once we've announced other content that we're ready to talk about.
I'll just ask you flat out: is there a labs style map?
We do want there to be aspirational maps that challenge you, that you feel like you have to gear up for and really get ready for. But yeah, nothing to announce or go into specifics on.
Okay. Anything else end game wise you want to talk about or describe?
We definitely imagine the contracts get more difficult. The rated system is going to be an important part of it. It's really going to be a couple different vectors by which you're trying to, do your achievements and finish things out for the season. But again, we're kind of still right in the middle of doing that. Now that we have, the combat foundation and the core loop foundation down, that's what we're turning our focus on. There's a lot of balance tuning, a lot of investigating and interrogating the designs we have, and frankly getting feedback from people on how those systems are working, and those might have repercussions for later.
At a certain point, inevitably people will build up a giant buffer of stuff. I have gone through in Tarkov. I became a triple millionaire. I had €1 million, $1 million USD, and like 100 million rubles. It gets to the point where you're just kind of running the same thing over and over again. Are we going to see wipes at any point?
Yeah, there's seasonal wipes.
How often are those going to be?
Each season, I don't think we've announced how long our seasons are going to be, but it'll every time we have a seasonal wipe, we'll do a count. It'll keep your persistent achievements, but things like loot and stuff, those will get reset.
You plan on doing anything cosmetic for people that hit a certain point in the storyline by the end of the wipe, or complete everything, or a certain rank and rated, something that they can... I think one of the things people would like to push for is, why do I keep playing, for 2, 3, 4 months, as often as I do? Because, Bungie has a history with Destiny of making a game that is okay to pick up and put down in succession, right? But you're also going to have players... not just content creators, to be clear. Some of you guys at home that are wildly unemployed will absolutely, they'll grind their butts off to try and get whatever it is BSG puts in the game for Tarkov. Are you guys planning on doing something like that for wipe content?
We definitely want you to be able to customize your social identity. A big part of this game is building your legend and being able to tell people hey, I achieved this thing that was really hard. And so we want to give players the ability to communicate that to other players and see it, be like, oh my gosh, they just encountered the person who did something. So yeah, there's going to be those persistent account achievements that you unlock, and those are going to be part of your player story across seasons.
Cool. Is there a reconnect feature if I disconnect in the middle of a run?
Yes, we are trying to do a feature where if something happens that we can detect, that we try and reconnect you. There's some I mean, so we give you the option to try and do it. Like if there's not a 100% chance because we might not be able to reconnect you to the server, but yeah.
Since you said it, I can tell them it did actually happen to me, chat, during this recording session. I crashed out and was able to reconnect to a run, and we finished it, and like nothing happened. It worked like a charm. Will that work for you? I don't know. You guys gonna do kill cams?
We don't have any plans for that right now, although it has come up in conversations.
Okay. Here's a big one that I would like to talk about. I get a really cool mod. I stick it on a gun. I find a different gun that I want to put that mod on. Can I remove the mod from the gun and move it to the other gun?
This is another thing where even since you were there, we've been having a lot of conversations internally.
Yeah, because I almost started fighting people, Del. Okay, I'm going to be straight up with you.
Yeah. No, this has been an ongoing conversation internally on the team too about how do we allow players to manage their weapon attachments while also preserving a weapon attachment economy. So that's the thing we're really going back and forth on about. Yeah, because the system in there right now definitely is, you swap out the mod and then it destroys the mod and that drains it from the economy. But we're talking about ways that we can do something different.
Can I talk about what happens when a weapon trades hands enough times? The scrap mechanic?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Again, I don't have a script, so I don't have a thing. Right.
I know, and that's part of it. I'm okay. Apparently, Scaro did earlier. Okay. Oh, I actually say it in the video. Shit on. All right. So one of the things that with the mod thing that I understand what you guys are trying to do. The fear is, and this is more for chat than I think for you, Del. The fear is the economy balloons so much that everyone's running all gold attachments, all gold shields, everything, right? All that stuff. To be clear, chat, that I didn't break NDA. Shut up, Kujay. So you have a system in place right now, chat, where as a gun trades hands enough times, it eventually gets to the point where when you try to go loot it, it's going to have like a watermark on it that says scrap, and you're just going to get the monetary value from it. And it disappears. You get the credits, which is cool because it just goes into a one stack and you're good to go. The other side of that, though, is like as things are moving around, there's a potential chance for it to just build up and build up and build up, and people aren't running that, pulling them out. There is basically a hidden durability system, chat, that you cannot repair as it is in the game right now. The problem is like you were going to end up having guns that build up these gold attachments on them if you find them loose, and by not being able to remove a mod, you don't get to make the choice to move that to another gun, which I didn't like because I feel like that removes player choice and creativity. If I get a mod, it goes on a gun. It's like let's say it's like an AR mod. If there's like 3 different ARs and it's on one that I don't like, then I'm like, I don't get to use it. So the suggestion I threw out towards them is give the player the ability in or out of raid to remove a mod. But it is going to destroy the gun and all the other mods. So you can rip one mod out of a gun. Let's say you kill a guy who's got a purple and 2 gold. So you're like, I got to choose one of these, pull that out. Or maybe you just you pull the whole gun out, right? Or maybe it's like a purple mod that you have a duplicate of and another purple mod. And you want to I want to hold on to 2 of these because I really like this mod, but it's going to get rid of the other purple one. Giving the player choice and still clearing out part of the economy by destroying guns. Now, am I a developer? Absolutely not. Is that a stupid idea? It might be. That's not for me to decide. Del, it's a great idea, and you should put it in the game. But yeah,
it's come up. I mean, yeah, we talked about it. And we've talked about a whole bunch of. There's stuff in chat that we talked about too. So again, it's a thing that we recognize, and for the same reasons that you said it, like, hey, it's really limiting players' ability to experiment with the different mods because they're losing them, and it really feels like, hey, I spent a bunch of work to get that purple mod, just because I put a gold mod in it, I have to lose it, and so we're trying to think of ways where we can give players some more more freedom to make those choices, even if it comes with some sort of cost.
Yeah, I think the fear that I have is that if you don't allow people to remove or get something like that off of the guns, then the reward for PvP is that you didn't die at a certain point. And I will say, as time went on our 2 playtest days, granted, our contracts were not aligned with necessarily the maps we were doing, so maybe things didn't line up correctly. But at a certain point, PvP became, I kill the guy, I grab their ammo, I grab their meds, I just leave. Because it's like, there wasn't a point in grabbing anything else off of them, whereas I would like there to be something, and getting a single mod might be enough of a something that I feel like I'm getting rewarded for it.
Yep.
Who knows? So that is the removing mods one. Talk to me about dedicated servers and the way, is this peer-to-peer as we've experienced with Bungie games in the past, or do you guys have a farm set up for us to play on?
No, so it's not like Bungie games the best. I think you were talking earlier in the stream about anti-cheat, and we have done work that is so we've made changes to the Tiger engine that Destiny doesn't have. So dedicated server is one of them, and that is like pretty large undertaking because it also changes the network model, and we still have to preserve the gunplay feel that Bungie knows and loves. And so that was a whole bunch of work. We're totally investing in anti-cheat. Like we take it seriously as a studio, and especially for this game. I can't go into details on all of the stuff that we're planning because it's very much like a Cold War.
I don't want you to. Yeah. Anybody that's been around for a long time has heard me talk about anti-cheat versus cheaters. It's a constant back and forth. It's like people that design armor plates and people that design ammunition. It's always trying to outplay each other. So yeah. Is there, let's say you do die to a cheater, is there, some games have done compensation for that in game, like, credits or getting gear back or anything like that? Is there any plan to do anything like that?
We don't, it's part of the conversation we're having about it. And to say it, that concern of like, hey, I just lost my stuff because somebody was cheating is the same concern we have internally. We're like, hey, what do we do here in these cases where we can detect it and actually show it? So those are all things that we're talking about right now. The big focus is the underlying anti-cheat systems we have. Like that's the big thing, but definitely the policies of, hey, what happens when we do detect this kind of stuff is also active, definitely part of the conversation.
Okay. Just for chat, just so you know, if you are asking, I'm reading everything you guys are putting in. I'm trying to ask as many of the questions as possible. If I haven't gotten to it yet, or if it seems like I'm just ignoring your question, there's a decent chance I either asked them already, asked Del already, or I'm getting to it in a second. Any plans for future modes for the game beyond just the extraction mode? We've seen Tarkov Arena. Granted, the player base for that isn't huge, but it's being asked, so I figured I might as well pass the question along.
Yeah, no, nothing to talk about or announce now. Our focus is pretty much on just landing the core experience, making that as good as we can, and getting all the feedback and doing the iteration stuff.
Any plans for a hideout-like passive feature?
We have talked about it. Like, it's not something that we can announce or anything, but definitely we think it would be cool.
Okay. There's I got two really big ones at the bottom of my list here. That I guess I'll go to those next. I wish you the best of luck on these bad boys still. First one is talk to me about customization of the character. One thing that a lot of people referenced the video, which the cinematic, which was I saw it at the studio in the theater. People saw it at home on their screens. I think it was wonderful because watching it, it felt like I was watching a third-party, camera shot of me playing almost. But one of the things that was in there is Glitch specifically. I like using as a reference point because I've seen all the screenshots on Twitter of all of the different cosmetic stylings of Glitch flipping between all the different times that they've been rebuilt. The shell's been reprinted. What is customization in this game going to look like?
You will be able to customize your runner with skins. I can't really go into more details on it other than to just say that. And that's like the visual identity customization. There's also customization of the play style, which is all the implants and core and things.
Yeah. Obviously, the stuff that shows up in the equipment screen, like what's right here, chat, these are the things that are going to change the way your character plays and runs. Are we going to get... it's going to be like Apex, where it's just a skin for the whole character, or are we going to be able to change like heads out, add cloaks, change the shoes, that kind of thing? How granular are we going to be able to get? Can you talk about that?
We will talk about that later.
I'm trying, chat. I'm trying for you. What about
He's
weapon?
trying hard.
What about weapon customization? Can I put? You gonna give us hardline PR gun skins? Is my double barrel gonna be able to look like there's flames coming off the end?
But we also want you to be able to customize the weapons too.
Chad, that's as much as we're going to get right now, which I completely understand, but I got to do the thing with asking. Okay.
Yeah, it's easy to ask a question. It's easy for me to say we'll talk about it later.
Okay. And they're going to hate this one. Oh, actually, I'm going to leave. That's going to be the very last one, chat. Okay. Any chance of a player trading system or a social hub of any kind? I'm thinking flea market or seeing people. People are thinking like, I want to see each other running around in the tower. This isn't obviously Destiny, but the question is still out there.
I mean, it's a thing that, so there's two things there. One is player trading, and the other one is some sort of social space. We've talked about both of them. I'll say the social space again sounds cool. We don't have anything to announce or talk about in terms of social space. And then player trading, it's just one of those features that is really hard to do while still maintaining the integrity of a lot of the progression and economy systems. And so, yeah, we're not planning anything for player trading right now.
Do you have a plan to combat RMT? This is a me thing that I just thought of on the fly right now, because if it's an extraction shooter, it's gonna happen.
Yep. Yeah. And we do have plans for that. I don't think it's one of those things we're ready to talk about right now. But yeah, we know it's an issue.
At least knowing it's on your radar is good, in my opinion.
Yeah. Definitely, we've been thinking about it, and we're like, we recognize that it's a real thing.
Oh, I just realized I used a Tarkov term that a lot of people that don't play Tarkov are like, what the hell is that? Chat, RMT is real money trading. People will pay real money through a website for gear that a cheater has accrued, and then they bring it into a run, drop it for the player that bought it online, and then they run out with it. Does that make sense? That's not a Tarkov term? Well, we use it a lot in Tarkov, and obviously a lot of people that are watching don't necessarily know what RMT means. But it is a thing that it's one of the things that props up the cheater economy in Tarkov in a big way, as well as a lot of other extraction shooters. So yeah. Okay. Braindance actually asked a question that did come across my mind that I'm glad that they brought up. In the trailer, we see a little bit more gore than what we've seen in actual gameplay. There's like sparks and bits and the little pixels and stuff popping off. But in the trailers, I think it's not glitch. One of them is running and gets blasted in the head, and blue liquid is flowing all over the place. Was there a design change at a certain point? Talk to me about the kind of visceral portion of combat.
We're still in development on the in-game assets. So all the effects that happen when you die or drop or get killed or something. So those are all we're still iterating on. I'll say that the piece that was shown, that's like that's Alberto Miyogo's like vision for the world. And so those visuals that you see in there, we take inspiration from some of those, like definitely share them back and forth, but we're not trying to hit that as our target.
Okay. I think one thing that people are kind of looking for is this going to be more, is it leaning more towards an M-rated or a T-rated game? Because I think at a certain point, a large portion of the player base that grew up playing Halo and then the start of Destiny, they're definitely all adults now, and so they're looking at the game and saying, you know what, I want an adult themed Bungie game where my runner, it's not a person in there, it's a printed shell, so if it blows up, If its head pops, that's not a human, so you're not risking like a human being dying, but the little bits of the inside shooting out the back does add a little bit of that visceral kind of immersive gameplay of I just killed a runner that was stealing my stuff. Now I'm going to go loot the leftovers of their body. I think there's a statement to be made there, and that's why people apparently my chat is saying it was a hot topic in the Discord. And I think I understand why.
Yeah, I don't. That is a good question for somebody else because I don't know if we've announced what the rating is.
What's the rating on the game, Del? I got to ask the question. You said you haven't announced it yet, so I might as well lean into it.
Yeah.
Now, maybe your mic cut out. Are you?
No. Yeah, sorry. I don't know if we've announced that yet, so I'm gonna play it safe and say good question from somebody else.
I'm trying, chat. Okay. Cool. Somebody brought up destructive environments. Is there any? Obviously, we've seen windows blow out and stuff like that. But anything going beyond that?
Yeah, the windows can get blown out, but no, like destructible. That vehicle next to you and these barricades aren't destructible.
Okay. The UI, is this what I would say? How close to a finished state on the UI is this?
What I can say is it's an area where we're actively going through development right now. Like it's still one of those, and when you get close to shipping the game, there's a lot of iterations that come in that people have been working on for a long time, finally make it into the game. So this is UI and on a lot of the screens is stuff we're working on right now.
Okay. Do you guys plan on publishing roadmaps for development as time goes on to keep the player base kind of in tune with what the plan is?
Yeah, we definitely are. I mean, one of the things we really want to do, and why we're starting this right now, like I'm talking to you, is we want to have this communication, this back and forth. We want to be able to share, hey, here's what we're thinking about. Here's our roadmaps. Here's stuff that we think you all care about. And then you all can be like, yeah, we do care about this, or we don't care about that other thing. Help us prioritize the biggest issues. So yeah, we're definitely going to be having more of those conversations.
Cool. Chad, I'm saving the dirtiest one for the very end, and I don't want to keep you too much longer. How much more time with you do you think I have?
Yeah, let's do this. Is the dirtiest one, all right? Let's do it.
But Chad, are we okay with this being the last question? There's been a ton of questions. I know I'm not gonna be able to get to all of them. You guys have been, you and all your counterparts have been doing a ton of conversations all over the place, which I appreciate. Actually, I'm going to give you one more easy one before we get to the worst one.
Okay.
We have seen UESC. Where's the rest of them, man? We're going to see more of the old school marathon show up in this game. Yes, I hope.
That is not a thing I can talk about, although we are really excited. I mean, one of the things that we're excited about this game is to explore this universe.
Okay. My chat is good. They're like, yeah, this is something we're discussing. They're typing it out now ahead of time. Okay. Obviously, chat, for anybody that's asking, we talked about solo. We talked about solo versus group queuing, skill-based matchmaking, and smurfing, crossplay, VoIP, the final exfil ranked play. Contracts, endgame grind, wipes and seasons, reconnect feature, kill cam, anti-cheat, mods, just removing pieces of that are attached to weapons, dedicated servers, season duration, hideout features, future modes, customization, social hub, player trading, RMT, and destruction, destroyable environments, UI refinement, roadmaps, match replay system. But the last question I have to ask you, sir, is probably going to be the most difficult one. Let's talk about monetization of this game. One thing that I have seen overwhelmingly in the past from the Destiny player base is complaints around price, Eververse, the price of cosmetics, and that they feel as though they are potentially being taken advantage of in certain ways. Can you talk about what is coming for monetization with Marathon? What the entry level price for the game is going to be, additional tiers of the game, that kind of thing.
I can't go into details. That'll be one of the other things that we talk about later as we get closer. I can say, Marathon's going to be a premium game. It's not a full price game.
Yeah, so I saw that on Twitter. That leads me to believe, and you're not going to answer this, and that's totally fine. This is more me talking to chat. My initial reaction to that, chat, is that it's not going to be, what, $70, $60? I'm hoping it's going to be 40 or 30 then at entry, which means from my experience, I think that means monetization will potentially be heavy in the future, which I'm not going to lie to you, does have me a little scared. I don't necessarily want to pay $20 for one skin. That makes me kind of afraid. I also recognize that Bungie is a business, and you have employees to pay and content to pay for the development of. I get that whole thing. I think a large portion of the player base just doesn't want to feel taken advantage of. And that's not really a question. This is me just, I guess, extending a plea into the ether of please don't gouge us. And I know that's not your decision to make, which is why I'm not asking you, Tell.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can't go into details, but what I'll say is, we're not ready to talk about it right now, but, you've been out to the studio and stuff. You'll be out to the studio again. We'll have conversations about this. We'll be able to share when we're ready. We'll share some of the stuff we're talking about. Like you and a bunch of other people are going to have really good feedback about it. So it's definitely going to be a conversation, because one of our big goals here, especially kicking this off with Alpha, is to build this game and build a community around it. And so we want to do that collaboratively. So we want that feedback. Like, we want that perspective. That helps us do what the players most care about.
Cool. I appreciate you taking time out of your evening. I know it's later than you probably wanted to be doing work stuff on the weekend. So I appreciate it. And I'm sorry it took me as long as I did to get through everything. I think this ended up being about 45 minutes, which is way longer than what you had slated. So I'm sorry for that. But
no, it's good. Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me. No hard questions, but I appreciate them. It's all stuff that we're working through. I'm excited to be able to finally start having some of these conversations around the game.
It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time. So, all right. If you or Harvey or anybody else needs anything else from me, let me know. Thank you very much. Chat, if you could please, both on YouTube and Twitch, give some claps for Dell for hanging out and answering, honestly, a plethora of questions, including me going, why you make me sad, Dell. But I think the one thing I didn't want to do was be like, anybody that's talked to me in the studio will vouch for this. I am very much a kind of guy. I don't want to blow smoke up your ass. I don't want to gas you up needlessly. If there's things that are problems, then I'm going to tell you that they're problems. And I appreciate you being open to that kind of conversation.
Yep. Yeah. Here for it.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your night, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
There you go, chat. Assistant creative director at Bungie joining us for a quick little call there. The list of questions that I talked about. Again, I was reading everything that you guys were putting in chat. I was trying to be as unbiased as possible without being like, why games suck? It doesn't suck. My experience with it is that it's super fun. And I will give you at the end of this, we're gonna watch the rest of the reveal. I'm gonna give you my opinion on everything that I played and experienced. If you didn't watch the YouTube video that we put out, and ultimately my one fear for the game that I truly do have for this. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, let's watch the rest. We'll skip through the rest of this just real quick.
All right, so obviously having those creators in was a whole lot of fun. Getting to work with both creators and players alike has been a privilege. It's been a great time getting to set that up. And of course,
Big Mac, there are no tiers of ammo.
Social media team here, but if you head over,
no, there's no tiers of ammo. I will address this one real quick. The way they do increasing damage from weapons, improving the damage output of weapons, is through the mod system. It adjusts the stats so you do not have to worry about managing ammunition. You're not loading mags. It's pulling from a pool. And if you get a mod and you slap it on there, it increases the damage of the gun. That is making it do more damage. You don't have to. It's Apex style mod system. Yes, yeah. They are, yeah. Should have asked, give me mouse and keyboard compatible on the console. I kind of doubt, but I don't know the answer to that.
Over to our YouTube channel. We have a full 20-minute version of that. So youtube.com @Marathon the Game is where to find us.
You do still need to bring
in our other
yes.
socials as long as I'm at it.
And the mods do increase the rarity of the game.
Obviously, again, like we talked about before that video, we're familiar with working with our community really closely, but have we ever done it this early or at this scale before?
So I've been at Bungie for a while now.
Do we have another
the Halo
cinematic
3 days,
before the end?
And I think the thing, even since my time, we've been
Okay,
really
they do
good
show
about
the
it
last
working with
cinematic. Okay.
players.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch the last cinematic. I'll give you my little feedback loop. There aren't scope attachments, right? There are scope attachments, yes. Yeah, the last one is the last one. And I'm going to see if I can pull that from the Marathon page itself. Yes, I can, because it'll probably be higher quality. It will go up to 4K, and you better fucking believe we're watching it in 4K, baby. I'll put me top left. So sick. Compiler.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that it sought to well those passions red which yet survive. Stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, lifeless and the heart that fed.
Welcome once again. Once again. How's the new shell? How's the new shell feeling?
I mean, if
Real quick, it was talked about in chat. The reason this feels like a Love, Death, and Robots episode is because it was made by someone that made a Love, Death, and Robots episode. Same guy. Yeah, the Jabaro episode of Love, Death, and Robots. That's why it feels that way, because it is. Yeah, it's really fucking good.
it feels just like what it is, right? Like $1 trillion. Like $1 trillion.
Sakaguchi Genetics sent a reminder. Your shell repayment is coming up and will be charged against your line of credit.
Yeah, I know. Do you mind if we skip the formalities this
I like
time?
that one.
Got a
That
big
looks
contract waiting down there, so.
Understood. Let's proceed with your grounding exercise. Are you familiar with this item?
That's my lucky charm. Yeah, it's supposed to be my lucky charm.
fucking Locust with the RoboCop. Oh shit.
Can you identify her?
Yeah, that's my mom. That's your mother. Your mother.
Now,
You know that's
consider
your
this. Do you recognize this child?
Who are you? I don't know.
It's you.
What? Really?
Hey, what's that you're always tuned into? Worth anything?
I don't know, but I like it. It speaks to me.
Let me listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
You ever wonder what happened to these people?
It's not my business.
And this music is. You'll have a tough time finding a buyer.
Good. It's not for sale. Give it to me.
In rolls another fucking team, man. It was this part that maybe I was like, yeah, I've done all this shit when we were doing our playtest. This whole sequence, I was like, I've been there. Are there dark areas like this in any of the maps? Oh yeah.
This is still cute. I don't.
Her head is gone. Her head go bye-bye.
And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Despair. Nothing beside remain. Nothing beside remain. Round the decay of that colossal wreck. Round the decay of that boundless wreck. Boundless, alone and level sands stretch far away.
Just so
Do you
nonchalant,
recognize
dude.
this child?
I don't know. Is that me?
Oh man. Why is everyone just getting their heads blown off? That's life, dude. Samurai. Okay. So, Samurai Neptune just asked a question that I want to use as a jumping off point for my final summary of the game. my opinion around what I saw, what I played, what I experienced. Because I think it's important to put everything in perspective. Now that we can talk about all of it, now that you've seen all of it, if you haven't done so, go watch my gameplay footage on YouTube. Here's the question. He said, I regret not asking the question, but what do you think about the idea of the maps changing in a way sort of depending on what goes on with the story within Marathon? So I'm gonna dilute that down. I have proposed an idea to them. I said, is there a world in which, as you play through priority contracts, their story missions, their, the main tasks or whatever, that when you hit certain story beats, the map has things that adjust to it. So, like, you're only playing as people that have gotten to that point on the map, right? So let's say once you complete contract number 10, 11 and onward is on map version 2. And then, like, 30 and onward is on map version 3. The reason I brought that up, and the response was basically that level of development time and map building and all that both would be costly and would fragment the player base. And I do understand that. That is a thing that I knew that going into the question of saying, hey, as you break the game apart, it does become an issue. But the overarching problem that I was attempting to see if we could mitigate, that I reiterated to them a number of times to a number of different developers there, is that the game that they have at a very basic layer is Delta Force operations in space. And that's fine. That's totally fine. The operations mode in Delta Force, a lot of fun. I think the reason that it didn't hook me, Delta Force didn't hook me, is because Tarkov exists. And maybe because there is a fundamental aesthetic and gameplay style change between Delta Force operations and what I've played with Marathon, maybe that will keep me hooked. But my biggest fear for the game is that every 3v3 PvP engagement was one team gets a pick and then you collapse. One team gets a pick and then you collapse. That's every fight. Tarkov is different, and I made sure to bring this up, is because in Tarkov, if I get a sniper kill on a guy, I know he's dead. I know he's dead. That guy's not getting up. But because you can revive people, the DBNO system, people get knocked, they crawl into a corner, they get picked back up, right? Or you thirst them, right? They could still get picked back up. If you thirst them, you can loot them and grab them and leave. But in Tarkov, you kill a guy, that guy is dead. And I want to be clear, the TTK that you see in my gameplay video that I put on YouTube, that's faster. Everybody is more lethal than they were before. And the revive system, in my opinion, is not a cop-out. It is a way to make the player feel like they are still involved. In the same way that revive cards in Fortnite for the gameplay experience, because fundamentally, Marathon is not a hardcore extraction shooter. And that's the bottom line. A lot of people, a lot of the comments I've seen in chat, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, is that the game, everyone's like, well, why not this? Why not this? Why not this? Everyone is looking for a hardcore extraction shooter. And I still, to this day, then call it a battle royale. It's not a battle royale. It is an extraction shooter. It is an arcade extraction shooter. And that's why. That's the bottom line. And for me, I have a fear of stagnancy, because making a game like Tarkov, I think a lot of people don't understand how fucking risky that is. It just is super risky, dude. To make a game that's really hard, that's punishing. Tarkov doesn't respect your time, chat. It doesn't. It doesn't give a shit about your time. You spent 30 minutes building a kit, moving this stuff together, get into a raid, 7-minute queue, get in. You are dead in 30 seconds. The game does not care. You have lost your shit. Get out. And no one's going to make that game. No AAA dev will make that game. Sony will not greenlight that game. They won't give that the thumbs up. They will smack you on the ass and say, go back to the drawing board and make it more accessible. And that's fine. To be very clear, that's fine. But that might be, for me, the thing that after a certain point I will reach burnout on. Mate, I don't know. I don't know. So, that's the bottom line for me. Is I do genuinely think, no, Lupo got the coke sniffs today. No, my friend, I have a cold that I've had for quite a while. Thank you. Mods, ban that idiot. So yeah, ultimately it's like the bottom line for all of it is that the game is not Tarkov. It can't be Tarkov because no one will build Tarkov. Nobody will do it. I thought, and I want to be clear, there are pieces of this game that were in there years ago that are not in there in Marathon now. They've removed things. I will just tell you that. I probably can't tell you what. It's probably NDA'd, but there's things that have changed, right? So, genuinely, the gameplay is very fun. I'm not lying to you. The game, it looks beautiful when you're playing it on your screen. It runs immaculately. I think if I remember right, they said they were running 4070s at max settings, and that those bitches were cranking 200 plus FPS at 1440p. Only setting I changed for my gameplay is I turned off motion blur. Otherwise, my settings in my YouTube video are maxed. It's pretty nasty. It was chat. I'm not lying. It ran extremely well. It ran better than my experience with running Destiny, and I've always felt like Destiny runs very, very well. With CPU, I think they were 13th gen, no frame gen. Did have DLSS. It was set to DLAA, so it was rendering at native, and still felt like it was pulling 200 plus FPS. So, it was good. A lot of people are being super negative. I've seen a lot of super negative stuff, commentary around the game, and it is a little disheartening. I understand that people are jaded. The Destiny community, more than any other, in my opinion, is louder about annoyances than anyone I think I've ever seen. Does it feel like the cycle? No, it feels like Delta Force. So, any other questions you have about it? I probably can't answer. How do you think this game will do on YouTube from a creator standpoint that does not live stream? The same as Tarkov. Maybe a little worse. I should have asked about contract variation. That was one thing I wanted to bring up with Dell. We in our playtest, this last playtest, we didn't get a chance to see a lot of the variation of contract styles. Pretty much all of the ones we did were like, go here, get this thing, leave. And I'm hoping desperately that there's more than that. There's got to be like, go in, kill other players, or kill runners, leave. Kill UESC, leave. Grab this thing, try and find this thing from this spot. That kind of thing. Sound design with gun abilities. Sound design, that's the thing, is there's so many questions that I could have asked. I just knew that I was supposed to only have 25 minutes of his time, chat, and I took up 45. So I apologize for that. Are you going to be able to stream the alpha, or is everyone under... And as far as I know, no one can stream it. Which... sucks, but I also understand. Yeah. For the alpha, I mean, I get it. That's fine. I will probably mess around with it a little bit. I probably won't play it too much. Yeah, sucks. I do wish that I could play it. So, do you think Marathon will be a viable title for current Destiny content creators to pivot to? It's not a PvE game, and ultimately that's where Destiny shines. I don't know. It's going to get leaked. Well, I think the thing is, like, the leaking isn't really that big of a deal. They just don't. I think they just don't want it. They probably don't want it streamed as much because it's not final. It's not final because things can change. It is truly only an alpha. Things can flip around real fast. And so I don't think they don't want to set this precedent of what to expect and then things getting shifted. They will probably do a beta that you can stream. There are high value loot items you can find in the same vein as the LEDX. It makes you want to instantly extract. Yes. I will say they did a pretty good job. Okay, I can give you, I think it was it in one of the gameplay videos? I'll give you an example. We'll just make one up. God, I don't want to break NDA. I think I'm okay on this. As an example, some of the mods that are purple, and these are purples, will change things like the number of rounds that shoot out of a gun. And I don't mean like a little burst fiery thing. I mean like the railgun. Someone said the railgun thing? Okay, perfect. There's a purple mod that, I talked about it? Anyway, that's mid. You're an idiot. It makes the railgun go from a one shot, or from like one round and you just break shield to a fucking one tap machine, bro. It is nasty. And that's only a purple. You get that thing, you're like, let's get the fuck out, boys. Dude, 100%. Okay, I'm glad that guy, said it. Yeah, that guy that said mid, that guy's fucking stupid. Yeah, nasty. And that's only the purples. Yeah, I think somebody talked about it. It was me. I did. April 23rd is the closed alpha. September 23rd, 2025, or 26th, 23rd, 26th, is the release. Why do you say that no one will ever make Tarkov? Too risky. It's way too risky. You understand that BSG, from the outside, chat, BSG only stays afloat because cheaters buy more copies of the game, right? You know that, right? Nobody is going to build Tarkov. I thought that if anybody was going to do it, based on my early conversations, ASEC asked about exotic one-of-a-kind type weapons. Are there? No. Nobody's going to build it. Nobody else will build Tarkov. Only BSG will build Tarkov. Tarkov can't be played on a console. Too many fucking buttons. Tarkov is riddled with cheaters. There's not yeah. Chad, you want to? They do buy 5 copies at increased discount rates, kind of shit, guys. Come on. They do that. They do that. Think about it. Bundle state games, bro. Delta Force isn't on console either. They just announced it today, though. And there it is, dude. Yeah, they won't do it. Nobody else is going to do Tarkov. I will say audio was actually pretty good. Once I cranked the volume up, I could hear footsteps. We didn't really get a chance to do testing on distance, so I can't really speak to that too well. I could hear people move when they were about to be up my shit. So like you got awareness, but it wasn't overly loud. You could hear gunfire pretty far away, so you knew to push for fights and stuff like that. There wasn't any engine related stuff. It's running on Tiger, chat. If it's in Destiny, it's probably in Marathon. How's the bullet magnetism? Not overly strong, with the exception of one time when I think Cameron was running an SMG and it felt like his gun glued to a UESC guy. Easy to tell who your teammates are? Yeah, they got markers above their heads. You think a marathon takes off to be filled with cheaters like Tarkov? Not as bad. Are there flashlights? No. No, I don't think it'll be as bad because you have to buy the game. And you can't, let me be clear, you have to buy the game and you can't just buy mass copies of it from what I know. Although, actually, now that I say that, can you buy mass copies of Destiny? Destiny's free to play. What am I saying? Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, last one of this, and then let's see. It's 10:12, and my voice kind of shot from talking so damn much. I will probably be streaming tomorrow during the day. Yeah. You seem exhausted in that video you made. Were you tired? What a fucking weird question. Yes, you are going to get banned. What? Okay, last one. Thank you for clarifying that. My question is, do you think they're releasing around the best time? Borderlands released around the same time, possibly GTA 6. Okay. We had a discussion about this in the studio, specifically. GTA 6 release date. Fall 2025. That's not confirmed yet. I will tell you, I'll eat a shoe if I'm wrong. If any other game comes out the same time or immediately after GTA 6, it ain't doing well. It's not. It's not. No, GTA 6 will be absolutely the largest game release of probably the 2020s. It will be the biggest launch ever up to that point. Yeah. Oh, easily. Easily. If any game comes out, BF6 as well, Battlefield 6 will not hold a fucking candle to Grand Theft Auto 6. Half-Life 3 would not compete. There will not be a game that goes up against Grand Theft Auto. No one gets in the way. Rockstar has the absolute pinnacle of a monopoly on a genre of game. There is no game that could compete with it. There is no game that can compete with it. There just isn't. Rockstar can do anything. They can do anything, dude. Yeah, dude, it is the gaming equivalent of a black hole. If as soon as another game steps inside the event horizon of GTA 6, bro, that shit is gone. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. And it's not even coming out on PC at initial release, dude. It's just on PlayStation, right? Or is it or PlayStation, Xbox? It's console only at release, isn't it? So you're only getting 2/3 of the initial hit, and then we're gonna come back around in another year, and then we're gonna go mods and online playing shit, go, and then you're like, and then it's fucking all over again, dude. Have you ever looked at the Wikipedia for most sold games? List of best-selling video games of all time. At a brutal number one, far and ahead of everything else, Minecraft at 350 million copies sold. That's the one thing. Minecraft over 14 years, right? Over 14 years. At second place is GTA 5 at 210 million copies. Only 2 years later. So that's been 11 years. Right? After that is fucking Wii Sports, because it comes with the Wii at 83 million. That's the gap, dude. 350, 210, 83. And GTA 6 will at least be third place on that list very quickly. Guaranteed. Dude, I don't think anything dethrones Minecraft. Chat. Children. It's as simple as that. I don't think they dethrone Minecraft. Ark is at 79 million at number 4. I'm excited to watch Lupo eat his shoe when Minecraft 2 drops the day after GTA 6. Bitch, if Notch puts out Minecraft 2 like he teased or something like that, you'll be able to wear a white hood and shit like that, bro. No, ain't nobody playing that shit. Minecraft exists. It's done. That's it. You don't need to make a new one. They have the best one. Okay? Yeah, that guy made like $1 billion and then got hella racist. It was crazy. How fuck Ark get that many sales? Dinosaurs, bro? You ever dinosaured? This shit is wild. Also, the other thing that Ark has going for it, by the way, because of the copies sold, is every time you buy one, the install is so spaghettified, the install is so massive that it bricks your PC. You have to buy a new PC and a new license. That's why it's at 79 million. That's why it's at 79 million. Because it destroys computers. It's like a 20 gig worth of gameplay, and it's like a 400 gig install. That shit makes Call of Duty look small. I'm not kidding. It's massive. It is fucking huge. Does Elder Scrolls 6 compared to GTA? Nah, don't think so. I would maybe give it a shot if Skyrim. Okay, so here's a catch. This is from the Wikipedia. Another sales issue, particularly regarding the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, claims to have sold over 60 million copies per director Todd Howard, can be deemed contentious due to Howard's history of making exaggerated statements about his games for marketing. Out of left field comes Starfield, 1,000 playable planets, chat. There's only 3 that are worth looking at, though. Yeah. Yeah, Todd Howard is the goat of lying, dude. Except for, who made Fable? Who's the guy that made Fable? Molyneux or whatever his name is? That guy also does a good job of telling false truths, we'll say. Yeah. Yeah. Everything just works. You see that mountain back there, Chad? You can go there. Oh fuck, dude. The two solid pillars of false truths. Oh fuck. Yeah. Todd will come out and say Skyrim is playable in Elder Scrolls 6. You give oh fuck, man. So yeah, there's your marathon summary. My react to the reveal. I'm glad I got Daddy got a lot of feature time, which I appreciate. And they didn't have to do that, but that's very nice of them. Bottom line is this: I hope the game's good. I hope it comes out. I desperately hope that it has long-term staying power. When it hits, I'll be playing the shit out of it. Simple as that. Will it stay? I don't know. I hope so. I literally think you got more camera time than the devs in the studio. I don't know about that. Yeah. The question is what kind of staying power is it going to have? You know? What kind of staying power? Steve, I'm not going. I got to stay home and take care of boy. So Samantha's going to represent both of us. When's the reveal? It was today. Oh, I didn't ask him about sex. The whole interview's chalked. Throw it away. When are they adding sex to Marathon? And NFTs. God, fuck, man. Chad, I'd like to formally apologize to the entire player base. I let you down. I had an opportunity with the assistant creative director of Marathon, and I fucked up. One of the most important questions about the game, if not life in general, was not asked today, and I'm sorry for that. I needed to ask, will they add sex to Marathon? It's what you, at home, the basement-dwelling virgin, needs to know. Will you be able to experience a direct connection with your love robot while doing runs? And I fucked up, and I'm sorry for that. I hope that you can give me the time to improve as a person. I'm going to be hitting the gym and buying a dog, as you've seen from many other content creators when they fuck up. I will be back, and I will improve myself. For you. We'll see you next time.
With an army of vipers and lions, I had to keep on reaching up, cause it was my time to tear down the kingdom, call out the lion.